Mario. Astrological indications and remedies for eating problems. Our life depends on eating, doesn't it? So many of us live to eat, not eat to live. Eating too much or too little are both indications of imbalance in the horoscope and can pose as serious threats to health, both physical and mental. Actually, if you ask me, it's like a hen and egg story. Did the mental imbalance cause an eating disorder? Or was it caused because of the mental disorder? It's too thin a line to really demarcate and identify. So let us just understand that mental stress goes hand in hand with both too much or too little weight, simply because we all want to feel good about ourselves. More people worry about excessive weight than being underweight. But both the conditions are equally threatening to our well being. And also, there are hundreds of ways out of obesity, but very little is said about the underweight. The second house of the horoscope indicates our eating habits. But the fifth and 12th house planets indicate self control or its lack and are equally instrumental in this assessment. The planets responsible for overweight are Jupiter, whether it is exalted or debilitated, the moon, especially when debilitated, and Venus, when either debilitated or associated with the sun, while a debilitated planet seems more blameless because thyroid, diabetes, and genetic disorders causing obesity are indicated in these horoscopes, needing treatment rather than blaming. Surprisingly, it's the exalted planets that make us genuinely fond of eating, and if they are retrograde, it results in binging uncontrollably on food. But when Saturn, or to some extent an aggressive Mars, aspects these very planets, the opposite happens. You become too thin, deprived of energy and nutrients, irritable and unhappy. Of course, anorexia is the other extreme, which, opposite of binging, creates an aversion to food because of fear of excess weight and an obsession to remain really thin. This is a very life threatening disorder. Usually, the mind areas in the above two conditions are not healthy either. There are indications of obsession, depression, and rebellion. Many times it becomes necessary to turn to professional help for weight conditions. While diet specialists are thriving, they can do very little to deal with the underlying mental condition, and it's very common to remain totally oblivious of the absolute necessity to deal with the mind rather than the weight condition alone before anything else. Because once the mind is checked for its extreme preferences and brought to a balance, awareness comes. And with awareness comes acceptance, followed by the understanding that a lot depends on us and lies in our own hands. Eating habits of an entire family are sometimes such that every member looks somewhat overweight, and we keep blaming the genetics. It is necessary to observe eating habits of such families. Eating healthy is one fad which is attractive and needs attention of one and all today. Balanced healthy meals with a balanced intake of protein, fat, carbohydrates. Whenever this intake is not balanced, it spells trouble. Coupled with eating healthy, some simple remedies can also help in balancing weight problems and will work in both extremes. Chant or listen to Shiv Sahasranam, the stotra of Shiv Sahasranam. Chant the Guru Bij mantra, Om Gram Greem Groom Sah Guruve Nama, Om Gram Greem Groom Sah Guruve Nama. Listen to Guru Stotram, especially on Thursdays, the day of Jupiter. To deal with mind areas, the 5th and 12th houses related remedies are also advised as per an individual horoscope And donating to a piece for Saturn and Mars and Rahu can be really beneficial. But I repeat, eating right, eating healthy, eating balanced, that's the key. Stop feeling sorry for your overweight condition and just accelerate on what is right, because life is too precious to waste on excessives, especially if it affects us adversely, physically or mentally or both. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat.